So it's important to understand how the human mind works. And for you to understand how the human mind works is it's not complex, all right? I think it's not hard. Understanding how the human mind works is not really hard because people have already done the research for what is required. You can improve on your learning. I remember how I had to start reading books that had to do with psychology, what everybody's saying, things about that just to become better with my marketing. Because you cannot really separate psychology, how people think, from marketing. So there is that thing like that connects them. So let me even quickly share this one before I come back to you. I remember a mentor that worked in one of the largest retail companies, if not the largest retail companies in the world, Walmart. Their HQ in the US as their brand strategist. She was telling me about some things that brands do. For example, walking into Walmart, the first thing you have the bakery outside there. Why? You perceive the scent of the bread, you get hungry, and they've actually studied how the human brain works. Hungry people spend more, shop more. So you go inside, you don't know why those things are stationed the way they are. So you may think it's just a coincidence, but they've actually taken the time to study. They've paid people, scientists. They invest heavily. The big brands, world leaders involved, and funny thing is that they may not even look like a marketing company. They're not in marketing. Walmart is not a marketing, they're a retail store, right? But they invest heavily into psychology because at the end of the day, you don't get any money until you sell your products, irrespective of what you're selling, right? So whether you're selling a physical product, you're selling yam, you're selling speakers, you're selling gadgets, what you have to sell is not what gives you money directly. All right, just having the gadget or the product or the service doesn't put money in your pockets. All right, so what brings money is when you're able to successfully sell it. So selling is the real business of every business. So you need to know how to sell. Marketing is important. Hence, every leader invests in marketing. Right, they invest into psychology, understanding how the brain works, understanding how to get them to buy, understanding some things about how the human mind behaves, so they can get them to do some things. So she showed me about how that, for example, when you're about checking out, where you go to the cashier, that's where you have things like small sweets, 20. Why is it there? Because they don't want you to leave with your change. Rather, instead of why not just instead of going with your change, you can just pick it. That's why those small things are there. So these things are deliberate, well thought out, well planned. It's not coincidence. They invest, they spend heavy money in understanding how the human mind works. Then tailor things around that to get you to buy more from them. All right. So in this book, The Brand Story Guide, right, Donald Miller was sharing about his experience with a friend, a scientist that was paid to carry research on how the human mind works. This company was trying to sell a product that contains sugar to diabetes patients. So that sounds creepy, right? That sounds evil. But then now get the catch. I'm just trying to tell you that psychology is important in marketing. All right, simply put, simply said. And I wanted to add this too. That marketing is a game of attention. All right, marketing is a game of attention. So some of the psychology I'll be sharing with you, about how the human brain works. Before I tell you or go further to teach you about how to craft your messaging, it involves how to get attention in the market. All right, get attention in the market space, because marketing is also a game of attention. All right, marketing is a game of attention, and like Grant Cardone would say, best known always beats best. All right, meaning that it's not necessarily the person with the best product or best service or best skill that has the most sales. No, it's the person that is more known in that industry that would make more money, more than the person that has the better product or the better service. So marketing is always a game of attention. All right, and there is a constant battle for attention. Constant battle. Social media is noisy. Once you open Instagram, you see almost too many posts fighting for your attention. Almost like a brain shutdown for someone like me that don't like distractions. This one is calling your attention, this one is calling your attention, this one is calling your attention. You don't know which one to click. You don't know which one to click on. People just scrolling. For those that naturally like to spend time online, scrolling through. There has to be a way to get people's attention. And luckily, there is how the human mind works. Alright? So that can help you with that. Alright, which would also help you in crafting your messaging. That's why I want to talk about how the human brain works with regards to getting attention. Alright. So again, read the exercise file, Donald Miller. Alright. Author of the Brand Story Guide. Reach out to your team lead for that book. Now, the first thing is the brain is continually looking for information to help it survive and thrive. Okay, the brain is looking for information, continually looking for information to help it survive and thrive. So where you have a world full of information, full of noise, full of distractions, the brain by itself is always scanning for something. So if the brain is always scanning for something, isn't that a good thing? Now let me come back to explain what I mean. And I hope I'm talking as though I'm talking to beginners throughout this class. So again, this is the catch. You are trying to get the attention of the mind. Alright? And then you figure out that the mind is continually looking for a particular type of information. It makes the work easier. You just have to position yourself as that kind of information that the brain is always looking for. So it makes it easier for you to get the attention of the human mind. That's simple. Alright? The brain is continually looking for information to help it survive and thrive. That's simple. Let me give you an example. This is not, now, like I said, this is not something you are trying to do by yourself. This is on the subconscious level. Alright? As a human being, alright, your brain, you listening to me, everybody, our brains are continually looking for information to help us survive and thrive. So this is not something we are in control of or we have to be in charge of. Right? It's just like, how would I put it? A subconscious loop running behind the scene. So, for example, if you get into a hall, alright, a hall, you don't automatically know how many seats there are in that hall, except you are told. Your mind doesn't start counting how many chairs there are there. That's not important to your brain. But subconsciously, your brain starts pointing out the exit points, the doors, the windows. It's this subconscious. You would know where the door is. It's just automatically. You don't even have to know why. I'm just telling you why. You know where the door is. You know where the windows are. Why? This is just, this human psychology. In case there is a danger, you know where to escape from. It's not like you are deliberately looking for the exit points. But these things just automatically catches your attention. So why? Because the brain is continually looking for information to help it survive and thrive. So instead of positioning yourself as chairs in the hall or your brand, you have to position yourself as the doors, as the exit points and the windows. So that in a world of noise, it's easier for your target audience to easily spot you out. Alright? To easily pick you out. And how do you do that? You just position yourself, you position your business as something that helps the human survive and thrive. Alright? There are several things the human mind is continually scanning for. One problem brands fail to do is that they fail to communicate how their products help people survive, thrive, find love, be accepted, or to achieve an aspirational identity. All these are stated, all 5. You can go through them depending on your niche, but I basically stick with surviving and thriving. Alright, throughout this entire class. But you can choose to. These 5 are things that the brain is, continually scanning for: survive, thrive. This is not Caleb's theory this time. This is based on scientific research. So in case you say Caleb didn't do so this is not Caleb's theory now. This is based on scientific research. So survive, thrive, find love, be accepted, achieve aspirational identity. The brain is continually scanning for these things. So you have to learn how to communicate your products as products that help people achieve one of these. Right? Brands fail to communicate how their products help people achieve these things. And by doing that, you just make your products one of the chairs in the room rather than the exit points. Okay? So I think we are getting to the meat of the matter. Now, once you're able to do that, All right. Once you're able to do that, someone will be asking, how do I, you know, how do I do this? How do I communicate my brand or my product as something that help the user survive and thrive, find love or be accepted, or to achieve an aspirational identity? Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into the practical aspects of the class. All right, but it's just good that you have that. You understand these things first, and if you want to play around that first, that's fine. But simply put, you have to, in fact, take this as commands, whole instructions from your instructor, Mikele. You have to make sure when you are communicating your messages, you are using that technique. You are communicating, it as something that the human mind is already looking for. If you want to be successful with marketing, all these come and buy kind of things will not really take you far. Okay. And when we begin to delve in, you see why no big brand do those kind of things in their marketing and why they make sales. All right. So number 2 things you must understand about the message, how the human mind works, is that the message must be simple in communication. All right. If your message is taking more energy for the human mind to process, it automatically shuts them out along the line. Except maybe it's very important, and how do I put it? The more energy required for a person to understand your message, the more discipline it will be required for them to stick to it. So, and you don't want stress. You don't want to stress people. If I were you, I'm spending efforts in marketing. I want to make sure I do everything possible to get the best results, to get the most return from my marketing. Because one thing is certain, not everybody would buy anyway. So why even making it harder for the ones that are supposed to buy? All right. So make life easy for people. The message must be simple in communication, very easy to understand. What you are trying to tell them should not be complex. You have to do the work to make it simple. All right. So it shouldn't require too much. Don't give them a riddle to solve. Don't give them a puzzle to solve in your communication. All right. Don't give them quiz. Don't give them assignments. Make sure it's that simple. It's simple, simple and clear to understand and to be communicated. That's it. So your message must be simple in communication. All right. Remember, the more energy required for the human mind to understand what you're trying to communicate to it, the more discipline, the more work they have to put into stick. And not everybody, is willing to put in that work for your product. You just want to be able to get their attention and pass the right message to them in the shortest time possible. That shortest time that you have with them. All right, that you have their attention. All right. So with that covered, let's go. Let's now delve into the story guide itself. All right, into the myth. Not the myth. Everything we're sharing is the myth, actually. But now let's delve into the strategy for coming up with the message in the brand story guide in itself. With that being understood, it's giving you that framework. Okay,